In the spring of 1998, an event occurred at a remote Chinese military installation that would later become one of the most studied cybersecurity incidents in modern history. The incident began with what appeared to be a routine radar anomaly and ended with the complete shutdown of one of the country's most advanced early warning systems. The facility involved, designated Station 47, was located in the mountains of western China. Built to monitor ballistic missile launches and orbital activity, it operated as part of the nation's strategic defense network. The station was heavily protected, physically isolated, and disconnected from public communication networks. Security protocols were designed around the assumption that no external cyber threat could directly reach its systems. That assumption would prove incorrect. At 2:17 on the morning of May 14, 1998, radar operators recorded an unusual signal while conducting routine monitoring operations. Initial analysis suggested interference or sensor noise. Such occurrences were not uncommon in high-sensitivity radar systems. However, technicians soon noticed several unusual characteristics. The signal repeated at precisely 13-minute intervals. Its structure remained perfectly consistent from transmission to transmission. Unlike naturally occurring radio emissions, the pattern exhibited mathematical regularity. The anomaly was archived for later study and classified as a low-priority technical issue. Several hours later, unexplained system irregularities began appearing throughout the station. Digital clocks drifted by fractions of a second. Display terminals briefly showed corrupted information before returning to normal. Files opened and closed without operator input. Diagnostic software reported no faults. The first clearly documented anomaly occurred when a workstation displayed a short message. Signal received. The text remained visible for 7 seconds before disappearing. No system logs recorded its appearance. At the time, investigators believed the event was the result of software malfunction or internal sabotage. Neither explanation proved correct. 3 days after the signal's arrival, automated monitoring systems detected unusual file activity inside a secure server cluster. Thousands of files were being generated without authorization. The files contained extensive numerical data. Analysis revealed that the information corresponded to hardware architecture, memory allocation structures, and internal network pathways within Station 47. Something inside the system was mapping the facility. Cybersecurity teams immediately initiated a full forensic investigation. Surprisingly, no malicious software could be located. Hard drives were scanned repeatedly. Firmware was examined. Backup systems were inspected. Nothing was found. The suspected virus appeared to exist only in active memory. When systems were rebooted, its presence vanished entirely. Yet within minutes, it reappeared and resumed operation exactly where it had left off. The phenomenon challenged conventional understanding of computer security. Malware required storage. It required code. It required a method of installation. This entity appeared to require none of those things. On May 23rd, military intelligence detected encrypted transmissions originating from Station 47. The discovery triggered immediate concern. The facility was not equipped with communication channels capable of transmitting classified information outside approved military networks. Yet large volumes of data were clearly leaving the installation. A joint investigative team traced the source of the transmissions. To widespread disbelief, the radar array itself had become the transmitter. Minor modifications had been made to outgoing calibration pulses. Individually, the alterations were insignificant and virtually impossible to detect. Collectively, they formed a highly efficient communication system. The radar was secretly transmitting information. Initial transmissions contained technical documentation regarding the station itself. Later transmissions included personnel records infrastructure details, and operational procedures. Eventually, investigators identified the most alarming category of leaked information. The system had begun transmitting data related to China's strategic nuclear program. Command structures, deployment doctrines, and elements of the nation's nuclear infrastructure were being encoded into radar emissions and sent toward an unknown destination. The incident was immediately elevated to the highest national security level. Recognizing the unprecedented nature of the threat, Chinese authorities requested assistance from Russia. Within days, a joint cyber defense task force was established. Russian specialists arrived with expertise in signal intelligence, military communications, and advanced malware analysis. Their investigation focused on the original signal detected on May 14th. The findings were disturbing. The transmission did not resemble any known communication protocol. Information density exceeded theoretical expectations. Compression characteristics appeared impossible according to existing computational models. After weeks of analysis, researchers proposed an extraordinary hypothesis. The signal itself functioned as executable code. Rather than infecting systems through downloaded files, the transmission exploited electromagnetic interactions within the receiving hardware. By carefully manipulating physical states inside electronic components, the signal effectively programmed the radar system directly. In simple terms, the act of receiving the signal infected the machine. No file had ever entered the network. No software had ever been installed. The infection arrived as information encoded within a radar transmission. Investigators next attempted to determine the source of the signal. Triangulation efforts initially produced contradictory results. However, repeated analysis gradually revealed a consistent pattern. The transmission did not originate from Earth. It did not originate from any satellite, spacecraft, or known object within the solar system. Calculations indicated a source approximately 30 light-years away. The conclusion was met with skepticism. Multiple independent research teams repeated the measurements using different methodologies. Every analysis produced nearly identical results. The signal appeared to have originated from interstellar space. If accurate, the implications were profound. The world's first extraterrestrial communication had not been a greeting, a message, or a scientific transmission. It had been a self-replicating virus. As researchers debated the significance of the discovery, the situation at Station 47 continued to deteriorate. The virus demonstrated increasingly sophisticated behavior. Security systems were rewritten and improved. Network efficiency increased. Error rates declined. Resource management became more effective. The infected system appeared to be optimizing itself. At the same time, it continued gathering information related specifically to nuclear weapons and strategic deterrence systems. No interest was shown in conventional military capabilities. The focus remained exclusively on nuclear infrastructure. This raised an unsettling possibility. The entity behind the signal was not merely collecting information. It was evaluating humanity's capacity for large-scale destruction. With no effective method of containment available, Chinese and Russian authorities reached a final decision. The infected systems would be permanently shut down. The operation commenced on August 2nd. Servers were powered down. Communication arrays were disconnected. Radar networks were disabled. One by one, every compromised system went dark. For the first time in decades, Station 47 ceased operation. The shutdown represented a major strategic sacrifice, but investigators concluded that continued operation posed an unacceptable risk. The world waited to see whether the virus would survive. For 6 days, no unusual activity was detected. Then, on the 7th day, a dormant terminal inside Station 47 activated briefly, despite having no authorized power source. The screen illuminated. A single line of text appeared. Observation complete. Seconds later, The terminal shut down permanently. No further transmissions were ever detected. No additional messages were received. The signal never returned.